week to week, check to check, the whole 9 yards. And you mean to tell me that I'm finna worry about what they say? Yeah. Is my purpose in your hand?
My God.
Is my gifts, talents, and abilities in your hand?
Jesus.
Is my vision in your hand? Is my destiny in your hand? In other words, my God. In other words, I need to rearrange and get me a new governor to believe what he thinks about me.
So a new perspective.
A new perspectives come from a new mind, and if you don't never get a new mind, you will never get a new life.
That's say that again.
If you don't never get a new mind, you will never get a new life.
Well, that's
tweakable. If you don't get a new mind.
Yeah. Even in that, when you think about it, and you said new perspective, I always tell a story about how, the old man would look out of the window every day and he would see his neighbor. This is before the washers and dryers. I may date myself. But he used to say, man, his neighbor was hanging out her clothes on the clothes line. And he would look and say, man, why that woman keep hanging those dirty clothes on the clothing line? So every morning he's drinking his coffee, looking out of his window, talking about this lady hanging clothes out that were dirty on the clothing line. And then one day his kids pressure washed his windows in his house. And she hung them out the next day. And he said, oh my God, you almost have told us she finally hung out some clean clothes. But what he didn't realize, it wasn't her clothes that were dirty. It was his windows that were dirty. So everything he saw looking out of the window looked dirty. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at will begin to change. Some people can't see the new because they're looking through dirty lenses. So everything they see are filtered through the lenses that they've been looking through. So they hear you, man, he talking good faith, but that's still...
I hear you, but I can't see you.
But I can't see
you. I can't see you because what I'm looking through is cloudy. I can't see you in 2021 because what I'm looking through is 2011.
That's good.
Are you with me? My lenses is only 2011, so every thought, every memory, every idea, every philosophy, every ideology goes back to there. And we way up here. Consider the source.
Man, that's good. Now, you made the transformation. Not to bring up Butch. and you shifted because, well, some people don't know, you were the most valuable motivator. I mean, from Mayweather and LeBron James and Ray Lewis and Bishop T.D. Jakes and Bishop Marvin, Steve Harvey. You're on this platform. You're meeting people. And you're not negative. You're an asset to society. You're doing great things. And people begin to fall in love with this persona of the most valuable motivator.
Wow.
And a lot of people would have said, man, why didn't you just stay there? You were on the brink of the blow. Everybody knew you. You were a household name. And then something happened again in the midst of the transition to Pastor James. What happened? You met some people. You did some things that were great. But something in you said, this is successful, but it's not significant. When you made that transition, what would make a man leave what some would say is success to do something that is definitely significant, but not on the same level?
What I'm about to say is probably about to sound normal, or some may say religious, but for me, it's just 1,000% truth. I heard the voice. Watch this. Jesus said this. He says, I never do nothing unless I see my Father do it.
All right.
I never say nothing unless I hear my Father say it. One of the fourfold purpose of Jesus coming to the earth was to show us how we were supposed to live as believers. Here it comes. He showed us when he said, Father, If it be thy will, let this cup pass away from me. But nevertheless, what's the point, Pastor James? If Jesus had a governor,
Right.
don't you think you and I gotta have a governor?
Yeah.
He did nothing until he heard the Father. So I'm becoming
Okay.
successful,
Successful.
but not significant. The war was, why am I getting in the room?
Yeah.
Wow.
It looks good to you on Facebook, but I'm feeling like a private failure in public.
Yeah.
So you got the photo op.
Watch
You got
this.
the
And the Holy Spirit basically said, since we in this series, let's go back to the fundamentals. What's the fundamentals? The foundation that got me to where I am right now.
Yeah.
Transforming Faith Christian Center. Watch this. That name that little boy called you in Augusta, Georgia, the most valuable motivator, you had got blinded by the ambition behind the illegal identity.
blinded by the ambition.
Blinded by the ambition of the illegal identity. In other words, that's what you were for a season. That wasn't who I was taking you to for your destiny. But the name gave you the ability to build some credibility so I can step you into here and you can start moving towards destiny.
I got you. So you're saying you had to go.
I had to go through. Yeah, I had to be there, do that, go through that. But here was the kicker. When God tells you, can you kill it? The Lord tell me in the middle of a plan to try to reinvent the ring walk in boxing to go on movies the whole 9 yards, he tell me right then, cut it. It's over. Transforming Faith Christian Center. I'm like, how in the world am I going to do this? How in the world am I going to do that? But this is what I knew. I knew this by experience. The voice had led me to where I was.
Yeah.
And I knew the voice had enough power to take me to where he wanted me to be.
Yeah.
So when I pull off that identity, I put off also all the appetites, all the perspectives,
That's good.
and all the other stuff that I had and they had for the most valuable motivator. God said, kill him.
So now, let me get this right. So we killed Butch
Yeah.
and birthed the most valuable motivator.
Come on, boy.
The most valuable motivator is moving. He's that dude.
Come on.
Then we kill the most valuable motivator and birth Pastor James.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's not a one-time thing?
Come here, man.
You're saying it's ongoing? That we have to crucify ourselves?
This the problem with Christians. This the main problem with Christians. When you get saved, you experience a death, burial, and resurrection.
Yeah.
But you don't want no more.
Yeah.
And God is saying this is ongoing. Jesus did it one time, literally got on the cross and killed everything in him. No man taking my life, but I lay it down physically. He says, I'm going to do it one time so you can do it for a lifetime emotionally.
Come on.
The reason why so many people get here and stop, but God got here on his mind is because they won't die.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like winter, summer, spring, and fall. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. Winter, summer. For some reason, God sticks you in a season, and he takes you there, and it starts springing. You start getting summer, and then he says, start shedding a little bit. Because you got to die in winter again.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
He said, if any man gonna follow me, he must take up his cross and deny himself daily. What happens when you get to a place where God is saying, nope, that's enough, kill him. And you've gotten addicted to what you feel. You've gotten addicted to who you are. You've gotten addicted to how you do life. And God come into your world, break in and say, now, kill it.
My God.
See, this is the reason why obedience is everything. Go ahead.
No, you can't. See, I don't want to stop.
Go
Keep
ahead.
going.
Go
Because
ahead.
the only thing I was just going to add is just that sometimes the pain of who we become and who we have to kill is stronger than new person that we have to become. And so the new person that we have to become is so foreign to us. We don't know what that guy, we don't know what it, I never been a pastor. How do you pastor?
I've never been a farmer. I've never been this.
You know, so some people, I think they want it, but they're not willing to challenge themselves to walk into the new because of what they're familiar with the old. Like I really believe that people really want to change. They really want to transform.
Yeah.
But until the pain is so unbearable of where I am, some people won't move to where they need to
And
go.
then, Key, for some people, the pain is unbearable, but they deceive themselves in the saying, I can take a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because the enemy has taught you to cope with what's killing you.
That's it.
So many people know I need to start forgiving. I'm angry. I'm resentful. I don't have no great relationship in my life because I have a problem with forgiving.
Yeah.
They know it. God says, kill it. But they so familiar with having a meaning mug on their face. And people looking at them and identifying them as, don't say nothing to her, walk on eggshells around her. No, they built up a fabricated sense of what they want people to perceive them to be simply because they're living in a shell of fear that they've gotten used to and falling in love with. Can I tell you what this is? This is the ideal way that the enemy teach you how to protect yourself from disappointment. He trick you into, stay away from me.
Right.
Looking at me like these things. Well, God is saying, kill that.
Yeah.
Cut that off. But when you look on the other side, well, how is people going to perceive me when I do? That question will make a person say, I heard God, but I'd rather keep this perspective and I'll keep this persona because watch this, God don't really understand me. And they will reason their way into holding on to who he's trying to make you crucify.
That's good.
Am I making any
You're
sense?
making a lot of so even in crucifying and I don't want like if you're watching now, like all of us have an opportunity. We're not saying like we're here and you're here and we're telling you. You gotta understand that it's still a daily walk.
Yeah.
We're still crucifying ourselves daily. It's still this is uncomfortable.
People say they're ready for marriage, but they are so selfish
Come on.
and had to learn selflessness. Come on. Marriage is for the mature. Come on. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to let you know this. Marriage is for the mature.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you yourself.
Come on.
It's going to cost you your appetites. It's going to cost you your wants, your preferences, your feelings. All of it. It's going to cost you. What if God is saying, I got it for you, but I want you to kill the old you.
Because you need to beat the new you.
You won't be able to appreciate who I have for you in your old mindset, in your old ways, in your old thinking. So I'm challenging you. Come up here and grow up.
Yeah, that's good because I've been married 25 years.
Come on, boy.
And I still haven't figured it out. People I've been happily married for 25 years. I mean, it's still a daily walk. It's still what do you like? Do you like this? Do you? I mean, and if I fail to communicate because I assume that I know, that's what I remember when God challenged me. And we went to a spot in the city. And I'm thinking I'm going to speak. I mean, I'm ready. I got the mic. I didn't have a mic, but I go in and I'm looking at the lady. She said, you ready? And I'm like, I'm ready. And boom, you hear all the voices. And God said, can you sit, serve, sacrifice, and submit, and be silent and unseen for a season?
Say that one more time. You talking to somebody.
Can you sit, serve, sacrifice and submit and be silent and unseen for a season.
Jesus. That's
I say,
real.
okay.
Real.
I said, okay, I'm not gonna get the mic tonight, right? I'm thinking it's just one night.
My God.
This is a whole year.
My
I'm
God.
sitting.
Jesus.
Revelation coming.
Speak.
Hey man, you got a word.
Hallelujah.
I'm sitting.
My God.
Hey man, you. I'm sitting.
Jesus.
Do you know how painful?
Jesus.
It's like a woman. But it wasn't time to deliver the baby. I had to nurse the baby in the darkness. But it was.
Right.
I was pregnant with something, and I wanted to show.
Jesus.
But God said it wasn't time.
Right.
Now, if I had birthed that baby before time, they would have got something, but it wouldn't have been what God wanted.
All right.
And God is developing some people now in the darkness.
Yes.
It's like right now, if I had a caterpillar right here,
Jesus.
and I had a butterfly over here, in between there's going to be a thing they call a cocoon.
Absolutely.
And the cocoon is dark.
Isolation.
And the cocoon is where they build strength.
Yeah.
Now, the scientists say if you crack the cocoon
Right.
to let the butterfly out,
Kill its wings.
it'll die because the strength it needs to fly the butterfly is built up and busting out of the cocoon.
Yeah.
The strength that we're going to need to be successful
Right.
is going to come out of the pain and the pressure that we're
Yeah.
in right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we talk about transformation, and we talk about from the caterpillar to the butterfly,
Absolutely.
and we look at the journey,
Uh-huh.
if you can name 3 things on the journey that you know now that you wish you had known then when you were going through it, that somebody may be going through right now, you can say, man, when I was here, if I'd have known that it was just for a season, or if I'd have known that it wasn't going to be the end of my life, or I'd have known that killing myself was going to birth somebody. If you can name 2 or 3 things, journey-wise, caterpillar, butterfly, cocoon right here.
Mm-hmm.
What was your cocoon like? And what did you learn in that cocoon?
Man, the number one thing that I would tell a person about the cocoon is don't disrupt the discipline.
Wait,
Okay, he puts you in because discipline is the training or way of thinking. Can you do what you are called to do when it's time to do it, when you don't feel like doing it?
Yeah.
So he sticks you in. And he's saying, this is how I want to train you.
All right.
I don't know why, but for some reason God said, get up in the morning at 4:30.
Jesus.
Pray. Read my word.
Yeah.
From 4:30 to 7. Every single day. Y'all, after the first week, I ain't feel like doing it no more.
That's good. That's good.
But I appreciate it because I didn't disrupt the discipline.
Yeah.
Can I show me that? Go ahead.
And you see,
Let me write this down. I don't
you
want to
can write
forget this.
down.
Keep going.
Watch this. In that small training, can I tell you the discipline that it produced? There are a lot of people is being destroyed by it right now. I want to teach you how to control your emotions. I want to teach you how to have emotions, but not allow the emotions to have you. I don't care what you feel. This is the instruction. This is the promise. This is what I'm calling you to be obedient to. Number one, on the journey, by any means necessary, don't disrupt the discipline.
I just want to insert. I heard this guy Inky Johnson say this.
Yeah.
That you have to stay committed to your commitment, even when the feeling that you had when you made the commitment is gone.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I never forgot that.
Wow.
How can you stay committed to the commitment?
That's good.
Yeah.
Even after the feeling that you had when you made the commitment
My God.
is gone. I went to the altar. I do.
It's gone.
That's the feeling. It's gone. A month later, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm crucifying
Because you're
myself.
controlled by your emotions.
Emotions.
Yeah.
I just want to insert that. Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
but there's so much weight in that all by itself. When God teaches you how to, I did not know that in every successful or great person that has ever lived and did anything monumental for God, that has ever did anything monumental in life, that the very first trait that God develops in them is discipline.
Yeah.
The training. It's everything, right? Because when I'm disciplined, then my wants of what I want will never override my needs. In other words, I need this, but I want this. Will I take my money and go buy this, and then go in desperate need of this? Only reason you are doing it is because of a lack of discipline. Am I making any sense?
Makes sense.
The very first thing on the journey that God showed me was, and it's so much in that because it takes the discipline to make the divine exchange.
Yeah.
Remember now, if I want a new mind, if I need a new life, I need a new mind. So he says, wake up and start praying and start reading, because what he was doing was he was exchanging thoughts. He was exchanging perspectives. He was exchanging ideas. So renewing. So if I don't open up and read something different, my old dominant thoughts will dominate me and I will stay right where I am.
So you're saying that if I keep whatever you allow to feed you will lead you.
You better know it.
So if I'm constantly being fed by negativity, if I'm constantly being fed by the TV or whatever it is, Facebook, whatever, if that's feeding me, it's going to start leading me. So at some point, there's a difference between listening to yourself and talking to yourself.
Right.
And sometimes you gotta wake up and you gotta tell yourself. That's why scripture says I'm more than a
conqueror.
I can do all things through reprogramming. And I'm listening.
I'm not just talking, but I'm digesting. Listening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if the mind gotta change, then the diet gotta change. The intake.
The intake. What you eat. Hold on, can I just drop this off with you?
Go ahead.
Whatever you eat, what you entertain, what you give access to, and what you tolerate.
Y'all hear that? Entertain, access to, tolerate. That's what you intake.
Now, ask me, how did I intake that?
How did you intake it?
While I was sitting.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a Wednesday night Bible study. My pastor was preaching.
Yeah.
He was doing the teaching. And he said, what you entertain,
Come on, boy.
what you give access to,
Come on, boy.
and what you tolerate. So, what if I hadn't been sitting to eat?
You couldn't.
Eat, E-A-T. Entertain, access, tolerate. I wouldn't have been able to feed. I'm eating today, but I was eating then.
Absolutely.
Some of us trying to feed.
My God.
And have intake. My God,
We-
boy. You ain't got enough in you to feed. Who you talking to? Yeah. So because here it comes again that adds on just a little bit more to this. The voice that becomes the strongest is the voice that you have been listening to the longest. This is the voice that's the strongest in your life, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. But that voice right there is the voice that's going to become the strongest. It's going to influence you. It's going to guide you. It's going to lead you. And so, right back to the discipline. In the discipline, stay here and watch this. I'll tell you when your time is up.
All right.
Yeah, y'all know how we are. Y'all know how like the kids are. Are we there yet?
Are we done yet?
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? God taught me the second thing. Get your mind off what you're going through and get your mind on who you're becoming.
Yeah.
Who you becoming in the process?
You gotta go through in order to attain the new you.
Yeah.
So you can't keep your mind on what I hate, what I'm in, the crying, the complaining, the crying, the whining. Oh, Lord, why you don't take me out? Lord, why you don't do this? Lord, why you don't do that? Lord, why you don't do this? Man, y'all check this out. When God gives you a promise, it's okay to question him.
Thank you, God.
But it is arrogance when you give him a suggestion.
Yes, Lord. Good Lord. That's
Man,
good.
you gotta
Lord.
touch on that just a little
When
bit.
God tells you something, when he gives you a promise, whatever the promise may be,
Yeah.
he's not offended. It's okay if you question it.
My God.
He know you want to know why.
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
how, and where.
Yeah.
But it's a difference between asking a question and giving him a suggestion.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's powerful.
Now, God, now you do know that I deal with this, that, and other, and I can't tolerate this right here. So, have you considered this? This is how we do it when He speaks something into our lives that's 100 times bigger than us, that we feel like that we don't have the capacity to exert and to produce. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
He told me to tell you on this day. It's okay if you question Him.
My God.
But don't get so arrogant to give Him a suggestion.
Lord.
He's the manufacturer.
Lord.
We are the product. If He's a God that is all-knowing, you think He hadn't thought about every single thing that you are bringing your suggestions to? And I don't make any sense.
I mean,
That don't make any sense.
because even when you look at it, and even people who are going through
Yeah.
that process to become,
Yeah.
because you said
Yeah.
you become.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother. They used to, back in the old church, used to be singing. I used to laugh,
Yeah.
I will trust
Yeah.
in the Lord till I. But I didn't understand the weight of those words and what it meant to them.
Yeah.
Because it meant something different to them than what it meant to me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us have when you go in the, I don't call it the secular arena, but let's use the word mentor.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So if you say mentor, that's telling somebody how to do it.
Mhm.
When you say model,